Thank you, Des and Steve. So down here with today's pole man, Brock Parks. Brock, you've had a couple of hiccups here and there in the past 2 days, but you made it to pole, you made it to the front, and of course you're up against a couple of strong Malaysian riders today. How are you looking forward to racing for the second time here at Sepang Circuit?
Yeah, no, it's true. This weekend we had some problems and lost a lot of track time. But yeah, the two Malaysian riders, Zakwan and Aslan, very fast. So I had one good lap in the qualifier to get the pole, but in the race we need to do 11. So it's going to be a bit tricky. I think the tyre decision from riders is different for the rear tyre. Some are soft, some are hard. So I think it might play out something in the race, but it's hard to choose which tyre and should make things interesting.
ARRC, all the best, Brock, for race 1. And as mentioned, alongside him is one of the Malaysian riders also battling for a title this weekend, Aslan Shah Kamaruzaman. So Aslan, this weekend you seem to have the pace, you have the experience here at Sepang. How are you looking forward to the first race?
I try my best, try to play safe and try to finish the race, and I try my best. Thank you.
All right, short and sweet as usual from Aslan Shah Kamaruzaman. And we're going to wrap up with the men starting in third position, Apiwat Wongtanana. Apiwat, the weather condition this time around here in Sepang has been very tricky for many of the riders, but you're on the front row alongside Aslan and Brock. You look like you are in good condition this weekend to battle with the front group.
Yeah, it's the good start for me in the front row. It's yeah, today is very hot. I try in the manage in the tire is step by step and follow the front group, and let we see in the race.
All right, thank you so much, Apiwat. All the best, and that's it from me here on the grid. I'm going to send it back to Des and Steve in the studio.
Again, thanks, Wheeling. Great job down there. Did I really hear Aslan Shah Kamaruzaman say, take it safe?
I don't think he knows what that is. It's pretty incredible for him to bring that up. But as I said, he did win here the first race of the year. So Aslan Shah is definitely one to watch out for, as is this man, Zakwan Zaidi.
Zakwan will be starting in P4, time of 2:06.735. Brock Parks was fastest, but as he said, he wasn't consistently fastest. It was on his last lap where he poached the fastest time of 2:06.107. UK Ito will be in P5. Yamaha Racing Team Asia. I did him a disservice. He's had a really consistent season. 5 third places and 1 second place, plus a 5th and 2 sixths, as well as 1 DNF. So that's not the worst season that you've had. And alongside him, you've got Titipong, who got himself a podium place in Zhuhai last time out. I believe you've got some tyre compound news, Steve.
Yeah, we heard Brock talking about the different tyres in use, and it does look like Brock's gone for, pretty much everyone's gone for the hard front, but the rears, Brock's gone for a hard rear, Aslan's gone for a soft, so Apiwat soft, Zakwan Zaidi's gone for a hard rear, Yukido's hard. Pretty much the two guys in second and third on the front row have gone with that soft tyre. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, Federico Sandi, good to see him on the grid on the Ducati. Good position for him. A P7 for Sandi on his debut in the Asia Road Racing Championships. He's alongside one of my favourites from the Victor Racing Team, Ahmad Yudhishthira, who I keep expecting to be there or thereabouts, but Yudhishthira, best race so far was a 5th place finish that he had in Buriram, but he's always there or around in the middle of the pack. Sorry, he had a 4th place in Sepang. TJ Alberto, the Filipino on the Ducati. This track might suit the Ducati, Steve.
Yeah, I think it will suit the Ducati. Also, I think having Federico Sandi in the team now, like someone, you know, as qualified a rider as him, will help TJ to boost himself up. So that's what I reckon's happening, and we've already seen that.
The Kawasaki of Chai Wichit, the one Kawasaki from is who's got the other Kawasaki? That's the first one. Yeah, Titipong. So the second Kawasaki of Chai Wichit in P10 alongside Ratapong on the Yamaha, for the Yamaha Tyre Racing Team.
Yeah, not the weekend that Rathapong Willarot would have liked. I don't think he'd be too happy starting that far down the grid, but as we've seen in all the races, it just doesn't seem to matter where you start here, because you can make your way through if you get a good enough start. This track is big and wide.
Alongside them, you've got Kazuma Tsuda from the Victor Racing team, looking confident, looking like he's enjoying, but he's starting from P12 as Ron Hogg, a familiar figure, the director, makes his way around the track, making sure there's nothing untoward going on. Conditions good. There's been a real haze in this part of the world over the last month or so. It's been the subject of a lot of discussion, but it's relatively clear today. As we move a little bit further down, this is Adriancia Rusmiputro on the 1XOX team. Alongside him, you've got Cheryl Nizam Ramli from the FTA Liquimoli racing team. Cheryl Nizam. And 15th will be Jonathan Serapika, who's picked up points regularly throughout the campaign. Jonathan, without really contesting for a place near the top, but I don't think he expected to. As you can see from that big smile, he's using this from experience and loving the experience, but he knows this track.
He certainly does know this track. Malaysian Superbike champion, I think he is as well, so he knows his way around the Sepang circuit, and most importantly, he's riding a beautiful motorcycle and having lots of fun.
The long lens just nodding in agreement with you there as we just await the formation lap. There's the medical car. We've had a couple of incidents, but had no reports of anybody with any really serious injuries, which we're always delighted to report.
Well, that is the thing with this circuit as well. It's you know, it's up to world standards, FIM standards. It's got great runoff, great safety. It really is, you know, a track that a lot of thought's gone into make. It's why the riders really love and enjoy coming to Malaysia, not only for the hospitality of the country, but also to race this beautiful circuit.
The 5 outstanding race of the season occupy the first 5 places on the grid. Brock Parks leads the championship. He's 35 points clear of Zakwan Zaidi, so he can't win the title here, but he can win the title theoretically this weekend. Very unlikely, but you never know. Here is the starting grid. Brock Parks for the Yamaha racing team, Asyam in P1 ahead of Aslan Shah Kamruzam, and very much a local favourite, Apiwat Wangtananon from Thailand, bike number 24 in P3 on the Yamaha. The Honda CBR 1000 of Zakwan Zaidi in P4. Yuki Ito, always popular around the pits, in P5, and Titipong Warakorn, the second of the ties, in the top 6 in P6. Onto the third row, Federico Sandi. Interested to see what he makes of this circuit and this championship on the Ducati. Great to see the Italians. It's another nationality for this remarkable championship. Ahmad Judistira, one of my favourites for the Victor Racing team, alongside TJ Alberto on row 3. Chai Wichit and Ratapong, the 2 ties, on row 4, alongside Kazuma Suda, also of the Victor Racing team. And on the final row, Ali Adriancia Rusmiputro on the BMW, as is Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, I should have said, and Cheryl Nizam Ramli also on the BMW alongside Jonathan Serapika. So this is the formation lap, a lovely roar of the bikes. That just I know you're riding, but you're not miss the competitive racing, Steve. Oh,
look, if you could guarantee me that I was going to win and not crash, I'd love to be out there, but there's no guarantees of that, so I'm quite happy just to sit here in our little box as we look at Tamada, a talented world-class racer on his own, who's the team manager of the Honda Asia Dream Racing team. Good to see him there, and he's taken on a new role, as have I, and I'm sure that we're both very happy. There's his rider there, Zakwan Zaidi, who is leading the warm-up lap at the moment. But the thing I love about these bikes is the different variations of engine configurations. The V4 Ducati versus the Screamer inline 4s, the Yamaha with its unique cross-plane crank sound. They all sound different, and when you hear them all taking off from the start, as you're about to hear, Des, it's a pretty exciting moment.
One of the luxuries Steve has as being a former world champion is you get invited to do an awful lot of test riding. So you've tested most of these bikes, so you know the beauty of them, and you know how difficult they can be to handle.
I certainly do. I've ridden a lot of the bikes out there on the grid, including you know, the Yamahas, I've ridden the Kawasaki, the BMW in superbike form as well, and they do have there are advantages and disadvantages in different areas of different circuits, and that's what makes superbike racing so exciting, because one bike's strong and can overtake in one area and another one in another area. And boy, we're about to see that play out today, because I'm sure that Aslan Shah will not give this one up without a fight. The other thing is he's heading out with the soft rear tyre, so expect to see him shoot off from the start, where Brock's got the hard tyre. Brock's going to have to, like, you know, hold it back a little bit until he gets the heat into that rear tyre, whereas Aslan Shah and also Apiwath, both of those guys should shoot off the line, with Brock a little bit of catching up to do.
Just over 60 kilometres in duration, the ride here. 11 laps of the 5.5 kilometre track.
Certainly a long way around this circuit. And there is Zakwan Zaidi. You can see there just warming up those brakes. He doesn't want to be the last person to the grid, well, the first person to the grid. That's the worst thing you can do, is be waiting there. Aslan Shah's not too worried about that. You can just see him there just preparing last preparations. As he gets ready to put in, you can tell that he's in the mood to do everything he can.
15 riders on the starting grid, 11 laps of the track. Asia Road Racing Championships, it's the superbikes, the 1000 cc's. Brock Parks in pole, in the blue livery, on the right of your screen. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman in the centre on the green, and Apiwat in the blue on the left. Look out for the start of Zakwan Zaidi and Yuki Ito as well. The championship is Parks to lose. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, particularly on home soil, would love to make a serious dent in that championship lead. 11 laps of the track, we are underway. Aslan Shah gets off to a good start, as does Apiwat. As does on the outside, there's Titipon. Titipon coming through from the outside to take the lead. That's a terrific start from bike number 100, and Titipon leads going into the first corner, or did lead until he left the braking just a little bit too late, Steve.
Yeah, it looks like is that Apiwath who leads up the front at the moment. Brock Parks didn't get a perfect start. Oh, looks like someone had their foot off the foot peg there.
Titipon it was, so that's an interesting opening two corners for Titipon. Really quick off the grid and leading the way. Bike number 24 is Apiwat. Zakwan right on his tail, right behind him. Federico Sandi has come through as well into P3, I think. Bike number 15 in P3, and behind them Aslan Shah Kamruzaman. So Brock Parks, as you suggested, got off to a slovenly start, but I didn't think you'd expect it to be that slovenly.
Well, one thing we know about the Kawasaki is, about the Ducati, is it's got a lot of power. And oh, we've got one off in the background there. Not sure who that is, but front end loose. Just see what we see. That's one of the Ducati riders. Is that either TJ? Yes,
TJ Alberto is out of this particular race. He's okay. He's hit the gravel pit hard, but in the meantime, Apiwat Wangtanam leads the way. Apiwat, who started off in P3, had a really good start, was dragged into it by Titipong into the first corner. Then when Titipong had a moment, Apiwat was able to take over. Zakwan Zaidi has got himself into P2. Where is Brock Parks? Looks like P5 or P6 for Brock Parks, but Apiwat leading the way from Zakwan. Wonderful work from Federico Sandi on the Ducati as they come down to the first of the two long straights before they come into the home straight for the first time, Steve Martin.
This is an absolutely exciting race for Ducati. Welcome to the Asia Road Racing Championship. Up the inside goes Aslan Shah, though, and he makes a move on Federico Sandi. Welcome to Asia Road Racing Championship, Federico Sandi.
And welcome to Aslan Shah, saying conservative racing indeed. Going through in P1, Apiwat leads from Zakwan, from Aslan, from Sandi, from Parks in 5th. Ahmad Steer has got himself up into P6. Ito 7th. Titipong, interesting from Titipong, led at the end of the first lap, in 8th place at the end of the first corner, 8th place in the first corner of the second lap.
Yeah, he had some sort of issue on turn 2. I think he nearly high-sided himself. It's taken him a little while to recover from that, but you can just see that Ducati, and it's Zakwan Zaidi who leads at the moment. Remember, he won last time out, but the Ducati man there, Federico Sandi, is not backing off. Brock Parks there with that hard rear tyre on the back, with work to do. I think he's got the same tyre as the man who leads the race at the moment. So Zakwan Zaidi is definitely on a hard tyre, so he's in a very good position. Oh, he's off!
Zakwan Zaidi slides off from P1. Zakwan into the dirt. You can see he's frustrated more than hurt. It means Aslan Shah Kamruzaman takes the lead. Zakwan looks to the heavens, shakes of the head, and it's a bruised ego as well as maybe a bruised backside.
Just lost the front end there. We didn't quite catch that one, but that's a front end crash for sure. He's tipped in, the front's folded, and bang, down he's gone. He'll be okay from that one, but as you said, his ego will be definitely bruised. Luckily, he can come back and do it all tomorrow, but that means that for Brock Parks, the job's a little bit easier.
Brock Parks he's got a 45-point lead over Aslan Shah Kamruzaman in the championship standings. So he could well be trying to wrap up this title if Aslan Shah comes a cropper. You never know, it could be decided here in Kuala Lumpur, but it's Aslan Shah who is leading the way. Apiwat, and still you've got the Italian Federico Sandi. Good start by Sandy, goes on the inside. This time Sandy leaves his braking later, is caught on the inside by Apiwat, but then is able to accelerate out. Sandy P2 behind Aslan Shah Kamruzaman.
Oh boy, what an impressive ride by Federico Sandi on that Ducati. It's amazing. He's doing a fantastic job, isn't he?
Well, we thought the Ducati, or you thought the Ducati, may well enjoy this because of the long straights and the sweeping corners. In the meantime, the Honda looks on. Yeah, move away. We're moving on.
You can read that way, or we'll read it as we'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, poor Tomato. They put so much effort into that. It was looking good, but Zakwan Zaidi, his rider, unfortunately went down.
So the story, though, we'll ignore Brock Parks just for now, but let's see if Federico Sandi can continue this excellent start. What's his tyre compound, Sandy?
Sandy, he's got the hard rear tyre, sorry, the soft rear tyre on the back. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Takes the lead, Sandy inside Aslan Shah. Real aggression from Federico Sandi. Superbly done. Sandy leads the way. Aslan Shah second. Apiwat looks on the inside to see if he can take Aslan Shah. Aslan Shah, though, just taken by the aggression of Federico Sandi. So he responds in same fashion. Aslan Shah tries to go on the inside, but Federico Sandi, welcome to Malaysia. I'll show you about Malaysia,
Absolutely. Let's have another look at that move there. He's just gone right round the outside. Aslan Shah's not used all the track there at all, which has let Federico Sandi just get that extra bit of drive out. And let's have a look inside the Ducati box, because this is a first for those guys. How nervous do they look there, Des?
They're not used to having a camera on them. That's one of the problems, because the Ducati's always been trailing. But now then, the pressure is on Sandi. He has made a real impact, and he's answered a few questions about this Ducati.
Well, there's still a few laps to go, but big take your head off to the Access Plus Racing Ducati Philippines Essenza team.
Brock Parks, meantime, is staying out of trouble. He's in P5 as he's pushed wide, Brock Parks. Maybe he'll come forward in P4. Amadou Destera able to get there. Apiwat, Aslan Shah, Apiwat into P2, but it's Federico Sandi.
Well, let's just remember that a lot of these guys in front of Brock Parks have still got that soft tyre on, and you would expect at this part of the race they would shoot off into the distance. It looks like another one just ran wide in the background there, so we'll have to keep an eye and see who that was. But it's Federico Sandi at the moment with that soft compound rear Dunlop tyre doing the business and opening the stops on the Ducati for the first time this year.
Certainly is. You can see the power of that Ducati. As soon as there's anything like a couple of 100 meters, open that accelerator, and that is just powering away. Aslan Shah has a look on the inside of Apiwat. In the meantime, though, this is the story. Mamma mia, Federico Sandi is really, really enjoying his time in Malaysia.
And fastest lap last time round was Federico Sandi, 207.7. So not only is he leading, he set the fastest lap of the race so far. So that's super impressive stuff by the Italian.
As he takes that right-hander, they'll come round into a sharp left. Right behind them, Brock Parks has got himself now back into P4. Sorry, this is up into turn 9 before the sharp right-hander, turn 10, and then 11.
Well, I think this is a bit of bad news for Brock Parks. He's actually back in 5th at the moment. It's Amadou Distra who's moved in front of him. Their bikes look awfully similar. So I think you'll find that if you have a look, because there's Parksy with his Alpine Stars leathers just at the back of the screen there.
Well, he makes a move now to go on the inside. I think he's gone on the inside of Amadou Destira. So just as you were berating him, he looks like he's got himself into P4, but not a comfortable P4. 33 and 23 are the two in P4 and P5, but Federico Sandi continues to impress, and well, Ducati will be thrilled to bits with this performance.
Oh, absolutely. If Federico Sandi does win this race, it will be all over the papers tonight and tomorrow. It'll be a historical win, especially here in the Asia Road Racing Championship.
Parks has got himself up into P4. Amadou Destira in P5. Titipong has recovered from that remarkable start where he got into P1, then dropped to P8. He's
Parks
now to
is
P6.
wide again. Parks has run wide into turn 1. He's moved back to 5th. Every time that you say 4th, he moves 5th, and when I say 4th, 5th, he moves back.
Typical Australians trying to put the Brits out of our style, but there he is, quite rightly. But Sandi still leads. Apiwat second, Aslan Shah third. There is Amadou Destira to prove the point in the black leathers. Brock Parks. There's still plenty of time though for Parks, and we've seen him bide his time in the past, but he does seem to be one of those who likes to lead races rather than be chasing.
Well, he does, but let's remember, just about everyone in front of him's got that soft tyre on, and although it looks like Amadou Destira's got the same rear tyre, and you can tell, by the way, at the tyres, you can see the white band around there. That means that that's a hard tyre. You'll see the guys like the Ducati, when it leans over, it's got a pink band. That's the soft tyre, just so that you can tell at home.
When will the tyre degradation really begin to take effect? Around about lap 5, 6?
With about 4 laps to go, I reckon, is when we should see the times drop down. At the moment, the guys on the soft tyres are doing like low 207s, and Brock and Amadou Destira are doing high 207s. So that should sort of swap around later on in the race as the heat gets into those harder tyres a little bit more. But that could just be the case that the hard tyre's too hard and the grip won't come to it.
Ducati banks over. Apiwat tries to go on the inside. Still, the Ducati has got this power. Not too sure anyone's going to be able to pass him on these long straights. Certainly not while his tyres there. In fact, he is pulling away from Apiwat Wangtananon.
I picked the right morning to have breakfast with the Ducati team this morning, didn't I?
Certainly did. This is an impressive race. Even if he doesn't go on to win, what a marker he's laid down for Ducati in this, their first season in the Superbike Championships, the ARRC Championships.
Federico Sandi, what a brilliant drive he got out of the corner there as well. He's run wide. But he holds it back together. But that was definitely a bit of a mistake by Sandi there. But manages to pull it back together. He braked about a metre too late, but held it together.
Although it's not hot by Asian conditions for the Italians coming out here, I'm not quite sure how much time he's had to acclimatise, but the heat might begin to just have an impact on Federico.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like things are hotting up out there for him right now, because he's got a whole lot of other riders behind him that don't want him to win.
Apiwat is in second, the tie. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman was in P1 temporarily. He drops now down to P3. The Ducati. Oh, there's a faller. Now then, is that Parks?
Is it? It could be.
Or Amadou Destira.
Yeah, it's Destira.
It's Destira. Destira and Parks are there, and Destira, you can...
Yeah, he can't pick that one up. He's gone down, unfortunately, the Victor Racing team. He makes his way back. He was in a really good position. I feel sorry for him. He deserved to get that one to the finish line.
It's been a difficult season for Amadou Destira. It hasn't quite worked out as well as he would have liked it to. Amadou Destira hasn't had a podium. Best finish of the season was a 4th place in Sepang. Always being competitive. He won't be competitive today. It'll be his second DNF of the season, and that just enables Parks to move into P3. Our focus though is still on Sandi, the Italian, on the Ducati, leading the way. Apiwat under pressure from Aslan Shah Kamruzaman. Amadou Destera is out. Parks and Titipong has got ahead of Brock Parks.
Yeah, Titipong is, he got a terrible start. Remember, he had that moment, but he certainly knows how to get a podium, and it's Apiwath now and Aslan Shah having a bit of a play together out on track.
Aslan Shah goes round the outside. Aslan Shah in second place, but still Sandy leads on the Ducati. They will have 5 laps to go. We're beyond the halfway mark. Now we begin to look at the tyres, the tyre degradation. Now we look at the man in P5, Brock Parks, and see if this is where he begin to make a move.
Well, Titipong just did his fastest lap of the race, 1 second, 1.1 quicker than the leader. So keep an eye on the man in 4th position at the moment. He could come through to win this one.
Watching on with real interest in a growing crowd. Sandy is still leading. The right leg goes out from the BMW of Aslan Shah Kamruzaman as they cut into this right-hand corner. Then they come down the hill once again. Talk to me about the form of the 3 riders. Who's riding smoothest? Not that Aslan rides that smoothly anyway, but who looks the most comfortable to you?
Well, Aslan's doing a pretty good job out there at the moment. We know that he can get that bike moving around a lot more than that, and still normally stay on the bike. He normally lets that loose with a couple of laps to go. Apiwath, he hasn't won a race in this ASB1000 championship yet, so this is going to be one of his best chances. But
Aslan Shah takes Sandy. Aslan Shah into the lead as they come up the hill. Federico Sandy led for the best part of 2.5 laps. Now the Ducati feels the pressure. Has he got the straight line speed as he comes round the corner of the Ducati? Aslan Shah, we're just talking about conservatism. My hat, no chance.
Well, let's just see what Federico Sandy can do, because theoretically that Ducati should have a little bit extra stomp as they come down. But Apiwath goes up the inside too now. Brilliant move by him. Federico Sandy seems to have hit a wall all of a sudden and is starting to fall back through the pack as Titipong now will certainly take his turn. He's pulled out of the slipstream as Titipong. He's up the inside, hard on the brakes, and he's gone up the inside. Does he pull it off? Not quite.
As they come round the hairpin though, Sandy pushed a little bit wide, but he's lost 2 places.
Sandy's good out of here though. He does get good drive out of there, and he's right in the slipstream. I think he's going to get that one back. Look at him go.
Aslan Shah, Sandy now back up into second place. He loves those long straights. Apiwath drops now into third. Titipong is there.
He's wide again on the Ducati. Pulls it back in.
Right, where's Brock Parks? Parks is just nicely on the shoulder behind Titipong. This is Brock Parks. He knows, he thinks through these races very well. He's got himself into P5, 1.388 seconds off the lead. That is very strikeable. Ito is 6th, Ratapong 7th, Chai Wichet 8th, Kazuma Tsuda 9th, Adiansa is in 10th. Sharon Nizam Ramley and Jonathan Surapika are 1 lap down. I think they have both crashed out, as is Udestera and Zakwan Zaidi and TJ Alberto. Right, 4 laps to go. Parks, Ito retires. Ito pulls up lame, and so
yeah, that's
a consistent season, but it's going to be another non-podium finish for UK Ito. His 2nd DNF of the season, his 1st one also here in Sepang in race number 1.
So what we've got at the moment is the 3 guys on the soft tyres, 1, 2, 3, and the 2 guys behind on the hard tyres there. So the Kawasaki and Yamaha man at the back of that pack are on the hard rear Dunlops, and the 3 guys in front of them on the soft tyres. So with 4 laps to go, you could almost argue that the soft tyre would have been the right choice for this race.
Brock Parks looking up like a meerkat on certain occasions just to see how close he can get, but Aslan Shah is leading the way. Apiwath currently in 2nd place. There's the long straight where we expect the Ducati to be strong, but maybe the Ducati has run his race because the Ducati is under pressure from Titipong and Brock Parks there. Parks unable to make an impact. Titipong can though. Late on the brakes, Titipong, and Titipong goes into P3. That's Sandy drops down now into P4. Parks has a look on the inside. Brock Parks, if he is going to make a move, hasn't got a lot of time to make it, Steve Martin.
No, I don't think he has, and he just had another moment coming out of that corner, and he looked at the rear tyre at Brock Parks. He's definitely not happy with his rear grip, I don't think.
And he's lost half a second on the race leader, Aslan Shah Kamruzaman. It is Aslan Shah on the BMW who leads. Titipong is having fun. Titipong has now got himself into P3 ahead of Sandy Parks, dropping off in P5. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, though, after that move, he was surprised by Sandy, but he's responded. His lead is nearly 3/4 of a second over second place Apiwat.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job out front, is Aslan Shah on the BMW. He won the first ASB race ever at the start of the year here, and he's proving that that wasn't a fluke by doing such a great job here this time out on the 1XOX BMW.
He will certainly move into the top 2 in the standings, Aslan Shah, with a podium finish today, because Zakwan Zadi is a DNF. He crashed out very frustratingly for him, as did UK Ito. So it's just a case of how many points he can make up on Brock Parks, who currently is in P5, but Parks is closing in on Federico Sandy. Titipong, what a terrific race from Titipong in P3.
Yeah, I mean, he came from nowhere. He had that moment early on. Titipong's the only one with the hard tyre, but definitely struggling with rear tyre grip now, I'd say, is Federico Sandy. But whatever, it's the first time that a Ducati has led a lap in this championship, so a great result for them. And I think the other riders should start to become a little bit worried.
Yeah, the BMW, though, of Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, he is still leading from Apiwat. Apiwat for the Yamaha Tyre Racing Team, currently P2. After this, there will be 2 laps to go as they'll come round the hairpin at the bottom end and into the final straight. Apiwat foot out, Aslan Shah looking neat and tidy. Now then, the Ducati under pressure from Brock Parks. Parks would bite your hand off, I think, for a 4th place at this stage.
I think he would, because he knows how crucial it is for the championship. But meanwhile, Aslan Shah is coming under pressure from the number 24, Apiwat, one thing on behind him there as they head into turn 1 here at this Sepang circuit. But it's Aslan Shah who's just looking very smooth out there at the moment.
He is. I'm amazed to say that. He said take a conservative, and he looks like he's riding within himself.
Well, to put it into perspective, his last 2 or 3 laps have been 2:07.2, 2:07.3. But Titipong Warracorn, keep an eye on him, because he's just set another fastest lap, 2:06.6. So he's right on the back of these guys. He's got the pace to win this with 2 laps to go. If he can get past Apiwat, he could go for the win here. Keep an eye on the Kawasaki man.
Titipong started in P6, he got into P1, dropped to P8, now to P3. It's difficult to show that on a chart, but if he can get on the podium, he'll be thrilled to bits. There he is in the green livery, right in the centre of your shot right now. That is Titipong Warracorn on the Kawasaki Tyre Racing motor, but it's the BMW of Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, the local hero, the veteran, under pressure from Apiwat. It's Malaysia, Thailand, Italy, Australia.
I was watching Titipong in practice yesterday, and he was not scared to let that rear wheel slide. He's doing it again today. He just gets that thing spinning so early out of the middle of the corner. He is not afraid to give it 110%.
May as well. He's not got much chance in the championship standing, so if you can pick up a podium, so much so the better. Best result, as I said, a 10-point haul for a 6th place here in Malaysia on race number 2 of the first weekend. Since then, he's been down amongst the nether regions, but as he looks into 2nd place, Titipong leaves it late, and he's got the better of Apiwat.
Great move, he went in there long. Apiwat might get the drive out of here, but that Kawasaki is fast. That is one thing we know. He gets the drive onto that start-finish straight as they head into the ultimate lap, the final lap of this race. It's Aslan Shah who's got a bit of a lead at the moment. This is going to be the lap of the number 100's life if he can pull this one off.
Nearly 1 second the gap, though, between Aslan Shah and Titipong. That might be a bit too much, and Apiwat won't take kindly to losing a P2 to his compatriot. Further down, Sandy is still holding up Brock Parks. 0.4 of a second between P4 and P5. Ratapong, Chai Wachit, Suda and Ali Adrianza completing the top 9. Cheryl Niza 1 lap down. But this is the race. This is the man. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman, Titipong in pursuit, but more probably interested with what's going on behind him and the pressure from Apiwat.
Absolutely. Aslan Shah now with that lead just in there, but it's these 2 guys. It's Apiwat and Titipong just going for it toe for toe for that 2nd spot on the the podium. Apiwat won't be happy to sit where he is. You can be sure that he's going to strike, but how much grip does he have left in that rear tyre? That is the big question, and we know how strong he is on the brakes, but the number 100 of Titipong, boy, he's a hard man to hold down. Remember, he had those terrible injuries earlier on in the year. He broke his back, he came back from that, and what a ride. Look at that slide. He is on the limit.
Titipong holding on. Aslan Shah looks like he's got this one in the bag. There is Lan Shah with the lead. Titipong, yeah, what a recovery. It would be his second place here at Sepang, but Aslan Shah will be leading. Titipong goes wide, Apiwat on the inside. Titipong has to stand up. Now it's a race for home. Apiwat into second. Aslan Shah leads though. Titipong, and so Aslan Shah. This is going to be the 1XOX race. Titipong though has got ahead of Apiwat for a second time.
It's not over yet though, they're hard on the brakes. He's sideways, he's run really wide. He can cut back from there though. Oh, he nearly high sides. He hasn't backed off, he can still get through, and Aslan Shah wins, but my goodness, what a great race for Titipong. That was a brilliant second place, but it is Aslan Shah who wins on the BMW, and what a great result for Ducati.
And Brock Parks got ahead of Federico Sandi on the last lap as well, so for Australia P4, Sandi on the Ducati P5. But what a day this is for the 1XOX team. They've invested big in Asia Road Racing Championships this season, and the celebrations are there for all to see. They won in the 600s, now they've won here in the 1000s. Aslan Shah Kamruzaman ahead of Titipong and Apiwat.
What a brilliant race that was, and what a day's racing we've had here today, Des. That was just so good to see. Aslan Shah, I'm so much more used to seeing him completely out of control, but he really did hold it together. Fastest lap for him, 2:06.9. That wasn't the fastest lap of the race, but what he did well was he did lap after lap very consistently. It was a 2:07.1, 2:07.2, even his final lap was a 2:07.2. So that just goes to show you the sort of pace that he could do. But this final corner was where it all happened for that second spot. It was, of course, Titipong who ran wide, but then he just did not back off. He trusted that traction control over the inside of the circuit, got the drive out, and you could see there, Apiwat wasn't happy with that. A little shake of the head from him, and he was relegated to third place with Brock Parks in fourth. Probably a little bit disappointing for him, but still good points for his championship.
Aslan Shah Kamruzaman will leapfrog Zakwan Zaidi into second place in the overall standings, and Aslan will move to within 31 points of the championship leader Brock Parks. There he was in the end, not an easy win, but a lengthy win, 1.38 seconds for Aslan Shah Kamruzaman. Titipong just holding off by 0.165 of a second ahead of Apiwat. Brock Parks edging out Federico Sandi on the last lap. Great performance on the Ducati by Sandi. He'll maybe be disappointed with fifth, but he shouldn't be, because that's a sterling performance. Best performance of the Ducati this season. Ratapong Chai Wachit in 6th and 7th on the Yamaha and Kawasaki. Zuda for the Victor Racing team in P8. Further down, Ali Adiansa from the 1XOX team in 9th. Sharyl Nizam Ramli in 10th. Serapika didn't finish, neither did Yuki Ito, Yudhistira, Zakwan or TJ Alberto. Really good stuff. So many subplots. The Ducati subplots, the battle between Titipong and Apiwat, and the ability of Aslan Shah Kamruzaman to keep world-class performances going year after year after year, whatever the category of bike.
Yeah, I think that, in my mind, was one of the best ASB1000 races we've had. It was just like, it had everything down to the wire. The championship was on the line. The Ducati came good. Aslan Shah, you know, coming through on the BMW. What a brilliant result. And Titipong, after his, you know, injuries earlier in the year, proving how good a rider he is.
Well, Titipong missed 3 rounds, 6 races. Really shouldn't have raced in Zhuhai. Got himself a 3rd and a 5th place. He's added a 3rd podium here after back-to-back podiums in race number 1. Our focus will obviously be on Aslan Shah Kamruzaman because he's the local, but the Titipong story is one that Barry Russell, who is often in the commentary box with us, he waxes lyrical about the ability of Titipong to come back from that career-threatening injury, that life-threatening injury.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so impressive to see him come back from that. But Aslan Shah, what a great result for him. He can win on any track in his day. We saw how good he was in the 600s last year. You can see there's the Alpha Racing team just in the background there. They'd be pretty happy with that result. They chose the right rear tyre. The softer of the two Dunlop rear tyres seemed to be the one that put the right results forward for them. It worked well on the back of the BMW. So Aslan Shah can be smiling. Look, he's got that big #1 plate, and look at the smile on his face. I wonder if he's more talkative when we talk to him this time round than he was at the start of the race.
Hope so, because we've got to interview him.
Well, that's true.
But the celebration shot at the moment, and you look at him, he looks fresh, he looks fit, he still looks like he's got several years top class racing in him.
Oh, yeah, easy. Absolutely.
Okay, let's go down to Hui Ling. This time she's got interview duties, and she's talking, I believe, to the top 3, starting with Apiwat Wangtananon.
Thank you, Des. Apiwat finishing in 3rd place today. A very strong effort all the way to the finish line, fighting with Titipong. Share us, how was race 1?
Yeah, it's start late. I confident with the bike, and I try a little bit to the front. Yeah, in the half section, the half race in the overtake every time. But I keep a constant that in the Aslan is overtake. He pushing a lot in 2 laps, and Titipong is overtake me. Today I am very happy. But I keep the mistake for improve tomorrow, and let we see tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much, Apiwat. And coming in 2nd place today is Titipong Warakon. Congratulations, Tingna, on finishing 2nd place today in Sepang. Of course, you had a very strong final lap. However, you almost fell in the final turn. Share us what happened and how did you hang on to 2nd place?
Yeah, today me really sick and a lot of pain in here. But I need to fighting a lot because a lot of Thai fans looking me in the TV, also in the Sepang. I hope to the get job in the team, and I thank you very much from the team and sponsor and all my fans. And in the last corner, in the before last corner 14E, in Apiwat passed me, and I need to one more corner. I need to pass him again. Okay, I keep in a lot because go wide and Apiwat inside and a little bit wide. I come back and I can get the 2nd podium. I'm really happy today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Titipong. Congratulations. And winning his home race today is Aslan Shah Kamaruzaman. Aslan obviously having some issue at the start with a couple of riders, but you did manage to pass and pull away in the front.
Yeah. Well, the mistake from the start is a bit crazy because I have to avoid, I think, Note, who almost crashed in front of me, and front group rider is beginning pushing very hard. So I try to catch up and I try my best to cool down and keep my pace, and it's a very tricky condition because it's very hot. Looks like no sunshine, but it's very hot. So the tire is very important to the end of the race. So I managed to keep my tire in after 4 or 5 laps, and I start to push, and it works. Thank you to team and everybody who support. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Aslan. Well said, and we'll see all 3 riders on the podium.
Great interview, particularly from Aslan Shah. The heat, we don't realize it because there's a cloud cover. We're not aware of it, but for him to mention it suggests it must be a factor.
Oh, absolutely. Very difficult on these super bikes around there as well.
Let's look at the highlights of a terrific Superbikes 1000cc race. It's race 1 of the weekend here at Sepang. Brock Parks was on pole, but he never really threatened from the very start. Titipong, bike number 100, had a wonderful start, and then he has a bit of a moment as he comes out. So he led into the first corner, and on the second corner, nearly high-sides his way out of the race, Steve Martin.
Yeah, he was definitely lucky to get away with that one, and it was that point that we knew the guys with the hard rear tyres were going to struggle until later on in the race. We saw that, but this man unfortunately went down on the Honda. Zakwan Zaidi just lost the front there. He was leading the race when that happened, and unfortunately that was the end of his day.
And then the story became Ducati, and it's the first time we've been able to say that all season. Federico Sandi, bike number 15, saying, listen, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to at least take for 2 or 3 laps the lead, just to show you what this Ducati can do.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ducati's one of the few bikes on the grid that's got wings, and it was certainly flying out there, that is for sure. Another ride.
Amadou Destira, that one, I think.
Yeah, Amadou Destira went down from a really good 4th position, and he was battling with Brock Parks when that happened. But back at the front, with 3 laps to go, it was still Federico Sandi trying to prove a point by staying in front of Brock Parks. But as we know, as the race went on, Brock Parks was trying to get his own back. Meanwhile, back at the front, it was Aslan Shah with the win. But on the inside, number 100 took that second spot back.
Yeah, Titipong, who, as we say, recovered. He's missed 6 races this season, but he's really come back with the vengeance. It's almost like that injury has said, listen, I know I can race, and I'm going to prove that I'm really worth it. Goes out wide here, and all this does is set up a fantastic battle, literal battle on the last hairpin corner. Aslan Shah, by this time, has got the win. For once, Aslan Shah isn't the story. It's the man behind him that's the story. And this corner, talk us through it, Steve Martin.
Titipong just goes in there way too deep, runs it wide, but manages to turn it on a dime as Apiwath goes through. Titipong gets the drive over the dust on the corner, takes his hand off the bar. He knows he's got it, and Apiwath, a bit of a shake of the head there in 3rd position. Brock Parks also gets through for 4th, and Federico Sandi, what a brilliant job for him to take that 5th position on the Ducati.
Well, terrific entertainment, 4 really, really good racers. If you're not a fan of Asia Road Racing Championships and you love bikes, you should be a fan of the Asia Road Racing Championships, because we give you close races every single time. We've had 4 races that have gone to the final corner today, in the Underbone 150s, in the AP 250s, in the 600s, and now in the 1000s. And let's go down to the podium, where Wheeling is taking on MC duties this time.
Podium ceremony for the ASB1000 Race 1. Coming in 3rd place today, Apiwa Wongtananon from Yamaha Thailand Racing Team. In 2nd place, Titipong Warakon from Kawasaki Thailand Racing Team. And today's race winner, Aslan Shah Kamaru Zaman from 1XOX TKKR SAG Racing Team. We'd also like to invite the team manager from 1XOX TKKR SAG Racing Team to join the riders on the podium. We will now stand for the national anthem of Malaysia. to invite Mr. Shin Obata, the Managing Director of Idemitsu Loop Malaysia, to present the riders with their trophies. Coming in third place today from Thailand, Apiwai Wongtananot. In second place from Thailand, Titipong Warakot. And today's race winner from Malaysia, Aslan Shah Kamaruzaman. And today's best team award goes to 1XOX TKKR SAG Racing Team.
Thanks very much, Wei Ling. Yes, thanks to Shin Obata, the Managing Director of Idemitsu Loop Malaysia, for handing out the prizes for a spectacular finale to the 1000cc. And that brings to an end a really fabulous day's racing here at Sepang. It's despite the threat of haze, it's been a relatively clear day. The racing, though, has been absolutely red hot. In the championship standings, Brock Park still holds the lead. He's got 201 points, 33 points clear of Aslan Shah Kamruzaman on 168. Zakonzade crashed out today he's on third in 153, 12 points ahead. Sorry, 22 points ahead of UK Ito, and Apiwat's reward today is a place in fifth place, 124 points. They're the championship standings. It's been a really fabulous